This morning we want to understand exactly what bodybuilding is. We've seen a lot of muscle, we've seen them flexing in front of us, but what is it? What does it entail? How do we go about getting such muscles if we're interested in getting such muscles? And to help us steer that conversation, we are hosting Chris Omeda. He's the national chairman of the Kenya Bodybuilding Federation, as well as our own Mr. Muscleman here at Citizen TV, Bernard Ndong. He's all about it.
Okay, you know, one thing is, if looking at this gentleman here and the lady, I would say that, you know that you have those interesting social media photos whereby you find a photo of somebody saying way before, and then somebody after. I think for me in this case I'll be way before, and then for this gentleman it will be after.
But you have muscles, don't deny it. You have muscles. Nothing compared to that. All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining us this morning. And maybe we can start by asking, what exactly is bodybuilding? What would you say bodybuilding is?
Thank you, Krigo and Citizen TV. As you heard, my name is Chris Omeda, the national chairman of Kenya Bodybuilding Federation. Bodybuilding is a sport like any other sport, and it entails quite a number of stuff. That is working out in the gym, from home, to gain the right muscles for one to step on the stage and showcase the same right there.
You've talked about working out. What does that then entail? You know, there's cardio when we go to the gym, there's lifting of weights. What do we need to do to get that physique?
It's both.
It's both.
Cardio, but mostly weight training.
Weight training.
Yeah, for one to gain such kind of muscles.
Mr. Omeda, of course, bodybuilding, you said it's a sport. Just for people who are trying to understand, basically the history of the sport in Kenya. You at one point, Mr. Bungoma, you at one point Kenyan champions. How is the sport in the country? How has it progressed compared to other countries around the world?
What I can say is that this is one sport that used to do so well in the 90s and part of early 2000. Then sometime in between 2005 to last year, it's like it was dead. This came about because of wrangles and a lot of corruption, whereby some officials went and took money from the sponsors and pocketed the money. Thus it didn't reach the bodybuilders. That made the sponsors to, pull out, and the sport was dead. The government came up with the Sports Act 2013 and hived all the sporting federations from the register of societies to ensure that all sporting activities are, delinked from the register of society, whereby one would wake up one morning and form a limited company and then go out there.
You talked about the wrangles.
Yes.
You said there was issues as far as mismanagement of funds.
Exactly.
What about the aspect of the fact that there are not too many competitions, there's lack of a lot of exposure? Will that also have played a role to the fact that 9 years is quite a long time?
Exactly. Our bodybuilders used to work out in the gyms and had nothing to show for it. Right now, when we came into the office, we ensured that we did put structures in place so that such kind of stuff don't appear again. And so far, I can say we have succeeded. From the time we came into the office, we've held, let me say, 4 successful events. We started with Mr. and Ms. Kitale in October, Mr. and Ms. Nakuru in November, Mr. and Ms. Kericho in December, and last weekend, just on the 9th, we did a very successful event, Mr. and Ms. Nairobi. And actually that was the turning point of bodybuilding in this country. Quite a number of bodybuilding activities and championship are lined up, whereby we'll be having Mr. and Ms. Kenya in yes, we are going to have scheduled it for August 15th, but there are some issues that cropped up, whereby one of our main sponsors withdrew the sponsorship because of corruption.
So it looks like
related issues.
10 years later, corruption is still a very big vice in the organization.
This thing is a vice that it's quite kind of a cancer. And for this reason, as the national chairman of Kenya Bodybuilding Federation, I am taking responsibility by ensuring that the KBBF Mombasa branch who are involved in this is suspended.
Let's talk about that for a minute, because when I was reading up on the bodybuilding industry in Kenya, there was an issue with the Mombasa, I don't want to say branch, but there were quite a number of splinter groups that had come up, and there were those that were from Mombasa.
Exactly.
Has that issue, you know, kind of been sorted out, or we're still having the same problem?
Right now, as we are talking, you know, I was just trying to explain that the government came up with the register of sports to ensure that wrangles and corruption is no more in all the sports federations.
Yes.
There are those who still, you know, don't believe that things have changed. You see, they still down there, the so-called masqueraders, they are still cheating, conning people down there that you can have as many federations as possible.
Okay.
You see?
So basically, you've talked about the Sports Act.
Yes.
And of course, it's passed into law.
Yes.
Have you adhered to the what is required?
We have adhered to the rules, and out of the 18 federations that have been transited, we are number 18. So it means that we have conformed, actually, the rules and regulations of the Register of Sports.
Okay.
Yes.
Where do we rank as a country in Africa and maybe internationally?
Actually, Kenya used to rank second to Egypt in matters bodybuilding.
Yes.
But you see, when the wrangles came in,
Of course, it took a dip.
you know.
But do you see us coming back up?
Yes.
How do you see that
Actually,
trajectory changing to your
this can be judged by what we have done in the office for this short time that we've been there.
You've been there.
Yes.
Okay.
Things are moving towards the right direction. And guys have gained a lot of confidence in the bodybuilding fraternity and the office itself.
Okay.
You see?
Let's come back to bodybuilding, and you talked about being in the gym. Does that mean I have to live in the gym? You know, how many hours do I have to dedicate to get such a body? What do I need to eat?
It depends on how you program yourself to work out.
Okay.
Yes, so maybe if you program that you will be in the gym for like 2 hours and then hit one body part or two body parts, and then you know, you've got to plan.
Is it a
also
daily thing? Is it?
It's a daily thing, but you have to program yourself on how to break. You see, so that at least your muscles also get time to, you know what,
To rest.
So it's like you spread it out, like for the gentleman on the extreme right.
Yes.
For me, if I'm interested, I'm hoping if I want to become to have such a physique. Basically, if I was to train, what arrangement will you propose?
It all depends on how you program yourself, Bernard. Each and everyone has his or her own routine, and you've got to understand that eating habits is also very important. Yes, it's also very important. You must eat a balanced diet for you to have that muscle growth. And then there's also supplementation. You have to boost your body by, you know, taking in a lot of supplements, which is actually mostly protein.
Now let's talk about supplements. A lot of people associate bodybuilding with the use of steroids.
Yeah.
You know, and you just mentioned supplements. Do we have that problem in Kenya?
That problem is quite rampant in Kenya, and bodybuilding is not spared. The government came up with the agency, that deals with doping.
Doping.
Yes. And actually, each and every sports is required by the government to follow this and ensure that their athletes are not involved in
Doping.
these banned substances. Because you see, once you are caught in this, the consequences are dire.
Talking about steroids, the differentiation, because it's difficult for some people, because you know there are a lot of people who are interested in bodybuilding. How do you differentiate what is a supplement and what is a steroid? Because in most instances, those who have been unfortunately caught in such a situation is because of a point of ignorance.
Actually, it's not a point of ignorance.
You think differently? Well, they say it's a point of ignorance. I mean, they say they didn't
Because
know.
the anabolic steroids, they are,
Yes.
I'm sure you understand all this.
Yeah, food supplementation is recommended for bodybuilders. But things like steroids are things that destroy your life.
Okay.
You see, these things are injected in the body. Some are, swallowed.
Yeah.
And they actually destroy the body organs.
Yes.
You see, most of this comes about because of obsession. You look at guys in the United States, and you want to look the
Like
way
them.
they are. Not knowing that these guys have a lot of money and they go through the full cycle, while here guys don't have money. You see, you use steroids here, you will survive for maybe a year.
Yeah, so that
Then,
is done.
then you are done.
So now I want to know then, what makes me number one bodybuilder? There.
What are the rules?
What are the rules?
If you can look at the three gentlemen and lady, actually from my immediate right, on the side of gentlemen, that's Rashid Isa. He's the current Mr. Nairobi.
Okay.
Dennis Otieno, he was the first runner-up, Mr. Nairobi. Edwin Aoko was the second runner-up, Mr. Nairobi. What we look into bodybuilding is how well your muscles are defined, how you condition your body to ensure that your body doesn't hold water and a lot of fats. Also, we look at the proportionality.
Symmetry.
The symmetry.
Okay.
You see?
So Johnny Bravo looks...
Oh, so your body needs to be balanced.
You need to balance all your body parts. You see, right from the deltoids to calves, down to calves, and then in front your quads, your abs, and your chest and shoulder.
How long? Oh, sorry, Bernard.
Chairman, you've talked about the issue of steroids. You've talked also the main thing also people are interested in finding out because of resources. There's I'm sure you also know this, the people who use cement blocks, mjengo, the guys in like Jimmy Mjengo. Jimmy Mjengo, Jimmy Mawe, it's aptly known.
Yes.
How do you ensure that safety standards are standardized? Because for people who are interested in being like this gentleman and unfortunately do not have the means to access to a gym, access to equipment, but they decide to fashion their own equipment using blocks, using cement blocks.
Bernard, you see, one has to start from somewhere. Like Chris here started from right down there and made it big in bodybuilding. As long as you are focused and have the vision of the sport, what you want to achieve at the end of the day is also very important. You can start from down there with the blocks, as long as you ensure that you do it correctly.
Okay.
Yeah, you get the balance.
Okay. So it's okay to do it. Sorry, it's okay to do it with the cement blocks, but you need to be very careful.
Very careful.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
You said this is Mr. Nairobi?
Mr. Nairobi.
Okay, so basically just tell us, you're Mr. Nairobi, what's your name, sir?
I'm Rashid Isa.
Just speak loudly.
I'm Rashid Isa.
Rashid, what made you take up bodybuilding? There's so many other sports somebody could do. Why did you decide to do bodybuilding?
Okay, I've been into fitness for some time, so I was just doing it as a hobby. Then somebody approached me by the name Meshak, and he advised me that I had a good physique to become a good bodybuilder. Yeah.
So as far as your training regimen is concerned, how many times do you train? What do you focus on? How many hours a day?
I train for 2.5 to 3 hours a day, 5 days a week. Yeah, and I train one muscle group per day.
Okay. So like today is Monday. Today when you're going to the gym after the power breakfast, what are you going to train?
I'm going to do my quads.
You're going to do your legs.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a standard regiment, and like for what is key for you exactly when you're training? How do you ensure discipline? Because for some people who are training, you find there's some days you don't feel like training. You do maybe like one rep, you do 2 sets.
Bernard, me being the first, I feel like training tomorrow, but I still want strong arms.
Yeah. How do you ensure you have that discipline?
Actually, discipline is so important in every sport. And I understand that there are days that you wake up and you feel like you don't want to go to the gym. But fortunately, those are the days that when you go there, you're most likely to gain. So I always push myself. I have an alarm that I have to wake up at 1:30 p.m.
1:30 p.m.
Yeah.
1:30 a.m.
No, 1:30 p.m. because I work during the night.
Okay.
So in the morning I go to bed, wake up at 1 p.m. 1:30 p.m. After that I just go straight to the gym. Yeah.
As far as diet is concerned, how do you ensure that your diet, because chairman here talked about that diet is a very integral thing, balanced diet. What constitutes a balanced diet for you? Breakfast perhaps?
In bodybuilding, according to me, I think the first thing you're supposed to take is enough carbs, because you're heading to the gym and you need that energy, to push you through.
Yes.
Like I'm training for 2.5 to 3 hours. You see, I need enough energy. So I mostly like using carbs. Carbohydrates, that's what I mean.
Carbohydrates.
Yeah.
Let's talk to another gentleman here. He was the first one, is that I understand, Chairman?
Yeah.
So just tell us your name, hold the mic. Tell us your name and just tell us what made you take up bodybuilding.
Okay, I'm Dennis Otieno.
Yes.
Like what started it was like when I was young. Okay, I used to go to the gym and I see guys how they are doing it. So since then, first I was like a footballer. Then I saw like...
You're a footballer?
Yeah, but not like a pro.
Which position? Midfielder, striker?
No.
You look like a defender.
Okay, I did like a defender.
Yes.
Midfielder. But now like, okay, when I saw bodybuilding, when I was young, I liked it. So since then I was like up to it, and that's what I've been doing.
For most people who take up bodybuilding, of course, resources is a big issue. For yourself, were you able to access equipment? Chairman just revealed that because the kind of bodybuilders who used ile mjengo.
Yeah.
Is it the same case for you?
Same case to me, because naturally I started in Nakuru. That's now when I came to Nairobi. So far at least things are at least working well so far, because now at least I'm a gym instructor. So that's what is giving me that passion, like to go on, because like now where I'm working is where I'm training. Yeah, so that's the best thing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thanks a lot.
You are the second runners up. Hopefully, I'm sure in the next competition you'll try as much as possible to replace these two gentlemen. How are you planning to achieve that? What will you be working on in the next few months?
I'll work on adding my size. Actually,
your size, you look bigger than all of them.
Yeah, you look bigger than all of them.
No. On stage is different.
Yes.
When you dry out, you dehydrate, and go on special diet for preparation for competition. Actually, you must slim down because you will be dehydrated, and your body fat percentage will be very low. So the muscle fullness will be lacking. That's why I need to add a few kgs of lean mass. If possible, only one.
Only one.
It's possible.
So you do bodybuilding. What else do you do in your life?
I'm a personal trainer, and I also market supplements. So that's how I survive apart from doing bodybuilding. Of course, bodybuilding comes first. It's my first love.
It's your first love.
Yeah.
But let me
Yes.
come to the chairman and ask him.
Yes.
We've seen 3 gentlemen,
Yes.
1 lady there.
I was coming to the lady, the only lady.
Yes, the only lady. Do you have ladies who...
We have quite a number of ladies
About how many?
in bodybuilding. They're over 10.
Wow.
Over 10.
Okay.
Yeah. It's only that they normally shy away from the sport.
Yes.
But we would encourage them to join the sport and give men a run for their money.
How long does it take? Let me just ask. How long does it take to build such a physique?
It depends on your training program.
It's all up to me.
Yes, you could achieve it in a year, 2 years, 3 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Both for ladies and men?
Oh, yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, of course, Kirigo. She's the only lady here with the three gentlemen. Tell us, what's your name and why bodybuilding?
Okay, thank you, Bernard. My name is Caroline Nida. Okay, bodybuilding is like a passion. I started as a fitness instructor, and Dennis Otieno is my mentor. He's actually the one who pushed me into this. Yeah, he told me if I can do it, why can you try it? Then I tried, and it worked for me.
So, for yourself, exactly, you said you're a personal trainer. You used to be a
I'm
personal
a fitness.
You're a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon. You used to be a fitness trainer.
I'm still a fitness trainer.
You're still a fitness trainer.
Yeah.
For a lady doing it, some of the misconceptions, because for some people, Kirigo,
Yes.
some would say this lady is she's too physical. She's too
muscular.
how do you
Masculine,
try as much as possible to go past these misconceptions, these stereotypes?
Okay, so far I've not come across anyone who will look at me and say maybe you're masculine or something. But even at the gym, all the clients respect me. They say you have a great body, and that motivates me. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
nice, yeah.
All right. We were talking about bodybuilding in Kenya, and everyone here has another job.
Yes.
Are there hopes of it ever becoming professional, where we can make money off bodybuilding?
Yes, we have our strategic plan that has all that, and we would want to see bodybuilders work and have something on the table at the end of the day.
Yes.
Not only being used by other people
Yes.
as security in the bars,
Yes,
and
as
bars,
bouncers.
bouncers, and all this other stuff. That has to come to an end. We would want to see these guys earn a livelihood out of the sport and out of their hard work in the gym.
Okay.
Yes.
Finally, Mr. Chairman, you said that in the course of the year you organized Mr. Kitale, you organized most recently the Mr. and Miss Nairobi.
Yes.
What plans are there for something similar? Because ideally, it's just exposure is what is key. What plans is there? Calendar of events? What are we expecting? Expecting regional championships?
We are expecting quite a number of events, just the way I mentioned earlier. Right now we are focused on Mr. Kenya. I remember I mentioned that
Yes, it's
there's a sponsor who pulled out because of politics and corruption-related issues. I need to explain this so that at least people get to understand what is there. We went down to Mombasa and agreed with the sponsor, the Modern Fitness, that he becomes the sole sponsor of Mr. and Miss Kenya. Then other officials from Mombasa KBBF branch went and solicited for funds from other people in the name of sponsoring Mr.
Sponsorship.
Kenya.
Okay.
That is contravening the contract that we signed with Modern Fitness, and this reached the gentleman, and it didn't augur well, so he had to pull out. These guys are here; they were given money, and investigations are ongoing right now.
Chairman, are those officials going to be suspended?
They are going to be suspended, and thorough investigation is going to be carried out. And if they are found culpable, we must curb corruption in this sport.
Okay. All right, Chairman. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. Time has come to an end. And hopefully Bernard Mbong will be participating in the next competition. I still have like 2 years to go before I can compete.
You can do it. You can make it. Don't you?
I will do it, but another 2 years.
No. Even
I
6
see my
months.
hand.
Yeah, 6
How
months.
tiny
is
it
just
is.
enough.
I don't have
What about
anything.
you? Do you think maybe perhaps in 3 months' time?
Bernard, before I started competitive bodybuilding, you used to be bigger than myself.
Yes.
Then it's all about determination and hard work.
So Bernard, you can do it.
Lastly, I would urge potential sponsors to come forth and help us bring up, you know, this sport. Bodybuilding is corruption free.
Bodybuilding is corruption.
It's corruption free, and we would urge them to come forth and help us revive the sport. Mr. Kenya is going to take place most likely in July.
July?
This year.
Okay.
Yes.
All right then.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. You've been watching the Power Breakfast show this morning. We do hope that you've been informed, you've been educated, and you have been entertained. Bernard Ndong and I are going into bodybuilding. We shall be comparing notes in about 6 months. 6 months.
6 months. I think let's give it a year.
Yeah, a year. See whether we'll make any progress. But we do hope that you have gotten some information out of this beautiful sport, as it's called. We're coming to the end of the show. Thank you so much for joining us. On behalf of everyone who makes the show success, I want to say thank you very much. Do have yourself a fantastic day. Don't forget, it's Monday football.
Thank you.
I'm not going to forget that. It's Monday football at 1:30.
And this afternoon on location.
This afternoon you're on location, yes. And it's Michael Kinney, Bernard Ndong,
Yes.
Wahiga Mora will be back, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, he's
yeah,
back
back from
from London.
London. So it's going to be an interesting show. Where are you going to be at this afternoon?
Today we'll be going somewhere interesting. I don't feel surprised.
I mean, okay, all right then. So that's the plan this afternoon from
Yes.
1:30 p.m. Join the 3 superstars, sports stars, if I can call them that, for some informative show on soccer. For now.